Hey guys, well, as you may know, I haven't posted nothing much um, in the last few months or whatever. Things in life have changed, and I think my focus has changed as I've been aging. I am now 36. You know, strolling along with life, you could say, and obviously some changes in my lifestyle. Many things from attitude, character, approachability, um, the understanding of the changes in characteristics in lives of other people and in life in general. So, say for instance, my work lifestyle, how I view money, how I view material, how I handle stress, how I handle pressure sensitive situations and stuff like that. So, you could look at my videos from the past, maybe years ago. I was into cars and stuff like that, and I mean, I still like cars, but I think the perspective now has always been that I've always wanted to aim at giving a piece of my mind to my viewers. And when I mean that, what I mean by that is in regards to like the way that I think and why I think the way that I think, and the reasoning and the details and stuff like that, that might maybe give you an idea or give you a hint or influence you to do things that you maybe never thought you might be able to do, or you were just not looking forward to doing. So just in the general aspect, it's like all my life since I was young in age, still in high school, I've always worked, I always hustled, I always have an ethic of staying afloat. Obviously, when I was younger, I was learning, as everybody is. Sometimes people don't really catch onto that until they're older. That they could have taken different choices when they were younger. But obviously, that's just the point of learning in general. So besides that, it's just the fact that as you're growing, your late teenage years, you graduate from high school, and whatever you go from there, college or go to work or whatever it may be, you're still learning, you're still maturing, you're still learning about yourself, about others, about the outside perspective, the life perspective, and all that stuff. I think it doesn't really hit you until you realize and start thinking about your choices of, whether it's in a relationship or at work or this and that, about sitting with yourself and introspecting and understanding why you choose to do the choices that you have been doing for the past few years, and whether you're successful or not. That's the reason why you are where you are at that exact moment. And it could be things out of your control, it could be things in your control based on what you choose to do. Anyways, so basically, in this video, we'll just break it into the small steps of choices and introspecting and understanding, trying to understand why you are where you're at based on your choices in the last few years. And then to end the video for this little short clip that I'm going to be posting for this one, we'll talk about maybe what the next video might be, and then go from there. But I think many of us, when we are younger, living with our parents, or just finishing school, high school specifically, we tend to think that once we reach that age 18, 19, 20, that it's gonna be finally independence, finally be able to do what I've always planned to do. But at the same time, you're being influenced by many things around you, the people around you, the activities going around you, the your own mindset, your own ethic in whatever sectors you're in, your work ethic, your at home ethic. Are you disciplined? Do you understand what discipline is? Do you understand what maturity is supposed to mean in the general aspect? Do you understand how money works? Do you understand the point of seeing commercials on TV or on the paper, or why things are for sale at a specific moment in the year, consumerism, all that stuff? So basically, to go to the very basic of the start of your early 20s, 18, 19, whatever. This is just to help. I'm not telling you what to do or anything. It's just based on my experiences and what I have learned now. And I look back and I learned a lot to become the person that I am right now. And I feel comfortable and confident with myself. So basically, when you're about to finish high school and all that stuff, you have a lot of things going on in your head because, depending what your household is like, your relationships with your family, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your education and your career view, what is your plan for the next 3 to 5 years, or at least the next year? What is that one thing that you would say is your career for life dream thing that you want to do when you're done with high school, that you're going to chase, to achieve? You know what I'm saying? So basically, you make a lot of choices, and everything derives and everything flourishes in its own way, bad or good, consequentially, all that stuff based on your choice. So basically, we make choices, and whatever the output is will show itself. Obviously, at a certain age, you understand what's good and what's bad, what could give you a consequence in the bad term. You know what I'm saying? So all I could say is understand what you're trying to do when you graduate high school. Like, at least try to get an idea. Are you gonna work? Are you trying to work so that way you can at least get an idea of what each kind of job gives you? Do you have something that you do at home as a hobby, or something that you've seen somewhere that you'd like to do that will make you feel comfortable for that moment until you try it out? You could do that. You could obviously get an internship, or do part-time jobs at different places to understand what it is, and that would at least guide you in many ways. If you're disciplined to get up, be on time, do what you're expected to do, to put your foot down and say, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to be somebody else's hard time. I'm here to get paid, give it all I got to create or do whatever I'm supposed to do, and go home safely the way that I came. That's work in the beginning years. Your 20s, I think, is one of the biggest things that you should think about when you're trying to rush into things. Is, I think, somebody needs, usually the parents or the older brothers, try to sit you down to explain to you, like, hey, take it easy. There's no need to rush. You have a whole life ahead of you. What is meant for you will come for you. What must happen for you or will happen to you will happen when it happens. Everything is already planned out. You just have to take it easy. But sometimes we get the itch that we have to go quick because we feel like we need to follow that culture track that's already there for us, instead of creating our own life, our own lifestyle, our own work ethic, our own goals, our own everything. Sometimes we live in households where their expectation of, you must do it this way. You could guide me and explain to me why is a good reason, but at the same time, it's up to me to decide what's the best way for me to take that path to success in my own terms. It might not look like successful to you, but it's success to me. Small steps, minimal steps, minimal things. I think the biggest thing that is the hardest to accomplish, well, at least two of the things, is like patience and being disciplined. Sometimes you got to be disciplined enough to be patient, or you got to be patient enough to understand that you're learning to be disciplined. Discipline runs in many things that we don't see every day. When you wake up to work because the alarm sounded to go do your job, you're disciplined enough to get up at that exact moment when the alarm, you don't snooze it. You go to work and you understand what you got to do because you're disciplined enough that this is what is expected of you. You're disciplined enough to come home to clean your house out of your own will because you know that when it's dirty, it's just like it's not who you are. Discipline is a big perspective, a big importance in life, and should be a priority. So in your early 20s, you should try to be patient, learn how to be patient, learn how to be disciplined, learn how to be dependable, be dedicated to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's, your job, your travel, your hobbies, enjoying life, your 20s. A lot of people rush into things and they forget about what they're supposed to be, what they wanted to do, because they were too busy looking at the other people over there, what they were doing. They were getting pregnant, they were doing things they were not supposed to, or maybe they're doing their own thing that's meant for them, and you're trying to be like them and not be yourself. Your early 20s seems like a long way, 10 years, but they will pass in a flash. And I think that between 20 and 30 is when you should understand that that's important. That's an important phase in your life that will dictate how your 30s and so on after that, how it will play out, career-wise, mental-wise, physical-wise, maturity, all that stuff, your understanding of life. If not, you're gonna be in the slow lane and you're gonna have to keep trying. It's never too late to fix yourself, but you're gonna be at a late stage in life where you could have already been, there. The way that I see it is that me, at my age, the people that I talk to that are younger than me, I just say that I have a blueprint based on my experiences that I could explain to you to influence you, and you take the hints and tips from my knowledge to utilize it in a productive and efficient way for you to understand, hey, you know what? Maybe if I do this, I will be able to do that, and I won't have to worry about that struggle that he did or they did, because he's literally throwing ideas of what I could do for work or a startup, or even what to look into as my future career without having to go through the trouble of somebody that literally had to draw it out, try it out, and figure it out through trial and error. But I'm gonna leave it here. The early 20 thing. I'm gonna continue making videos of ideas like this. I'm just trying to pass on my knowledge onto the people that view this video, because there's a lot of us that have things in common, a lot of things that we want to share to the young audience or whomever watches the video, and see how it helps you out and go from there. So if you're interested in something like this, make sure you hit that subscribe, and next time I upload a video, you'll be there to watch it when it comes out. But I'm leaning to trying to do it every so often, maybe a couple days, maybe weekly. But if you have any ideas that you like to hear, or influence on some things, or hints and tips on some things about life, drop a comment below and I'll respond to it as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.